like there's no tomorrow.
Welcome to the BingKing podcast. You usually have to like relax a little bit before we go. Okay. How's everyone doing? I have Nat and Will with me.
Hello.
You guys are one of my favorite couples in China. So
No, it's one of.
welcome.
It used to be your favorite.
Because you guys left.
That's true.
Oh,
You guys left for a while, and so you have to earn it back.
Okay.
But welcome. Welcome back to Shanghai. You guys have been in town for how long now? About a month, right?
3 months? Maybe?
3 months.
Back in Shanghai.
Back in Shanghai.
Probably 2 months.
Well,
2 months.
I don't know. Yeah, 2 months, I guess.
Around 2 months, yeah.
Around 2
one and a
months.
half, kind of like around that.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
What have you guys been doing?
Climbing.
Climbing and training.
Training, yeah.
Yeah, mostly climbing and training.
So I brought you guys on because you guys have also heard a lot of the people in climbing are getting injured.
Yes.
Lots of injuries.
Lots of injuries. I remember more than normal. Like when I first started, maybe a year and a half ago, I didn't hear about people just nonstop getting injured.
Yeah.
And now I hear about it maybe every month someone's getting injured. And you see it on, and it's worse because on social media, they immediately post, I got injured.
I didn't see that.
And their post gets like 1 million likes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
They're really taking advantage of the injury.
So we should get injured very soon. So we can boost our fans.
Yeah, there was one girl I saw, she like broke her ankle or foot or something and kept posting about her still like kind of like Yanya, you know, the Olympic champ, like comparing her to her and like climbing with the broken ankle, like only using the hands to climb, not the foot. And I was like, okay, that's new. That's interesting.
Yeah. So why do you guys think that is? That everyone is now getting more injured?
For me, I think that first of all, more and more people are climbing.
Yeah.
So you have like a larger base of people climbing. So
how many new gyms opened in
and there's
Shanghai
a lot of new
this
gyms.
year? Like,
yeah, I think that's like one of the biggest reasons.
I think before we would only go to, you know,
3 or 4 gyms.
Three or four gyms.
Where did you guys start?
We started in rock dance a very long time ago. There's only 2 gyms, 3 gyms.
Also roaring.
Now become roaring,
Yeah.
yes. But in old times it's called rock dance.
And then climbing factory was the newer one, but then we started going to climbing factory.
She's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, and I think at the time when we started getting into climbing, V4 was around. And
V4 was like
Neverest.
new.
V4 is actually new,
V4
yeah.
is a new one.
Right when they started.
Yeah, and then Neverest, and then that's when we like kind of left Shanghai.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Yeah, and then I would say we weren't super like avid rock climbers at the time.
Right.
We kind of liked it. We thought it was fun, but
We had too much interest or too many hobbies.
Yeah.
But then lead climbing, like sport climbing, completely changed my
it
view.
for us, yeah.
Like I'm really passionate. now I love it.
Why? Like what happened? Because I remember I went with you guys to roaring.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you guys were more top rope people even then.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And now you guys are even more like into at least having some sort of harness on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It's kind of like because in the old times we have a group of people going with us. So whenever they want to go rock climbing outside, so we tag along. But then we realized that we have more free time than most people, and we want to go climb a lot more.
Yeah.
So we needed to have this technique. Then
so
we can just go by ourselves.
Yeah, set our own route.
Set our own route and then climb whenever we want to go. So it's a lot more practice instead of just waiting for other people to invite us.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why we decided to.
I do kind of feel bad because then it's like I'm waiting for someone to set the route for me, and it's possibly also not my rope. It's not my gear.
Yeah.
And they're setting the route for me, and I'm maybe not as like that high of a level as them, and they're climbing these easy routes, setting the rope for me, and then I'm top roping a like easy route for them. So for them, I feel like kind of like a burden because like for them it's not that much fun.
Gotcha.
Like they want to climb a much higher level, so I also like would feel kind of bad at the time. Like, but now that we can set our own routes. And then we can invite our friends sometimes if they want to join us. And we say, oh, yeah, you can climb this now that we set it. It's a cool feeling.
Yeah. So if you can, we can finish it for you guys and then just set the ankle and then get the rope off.
But then your friends are being the burden to you guys.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Like, Like
I think that's how community like works. It's just
Yeah.
like you have somebody that's really good and then willing to take people to go with them, enjoy the rock climbing like outside
get the
atmosphere and get the experience. And then those people are hooked to it and then get better. And then they become the person that take people on. So
Yeah.
I think that's the reason why I think rock climbing is one of the best community ever that I met.
too.
And then everybody is very welcoming. And as long as you like rock climbing, they're welcoming. Yeah.
I think so too.
Really supportive.
It's
really,
a great community.
Yeah, it is.
I think that a lot of people don't even really like rock climbing. They just like the community.
People, yes.
Arthur.
Because I enjoy just being at the gym.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching my friends complete routes.
And everyone's cheering you on.
Yeah.
It's a really good feeling. And then when you have someone cheering you on, you're like, oh, I have to get this. You know, it's just, I don't know what it is. It's just like a little boost. Like, and then you grab it and you're like, oh, I got it.
Yeah.
But like, I know you said that you don't feel like some people will enjoy a route that is maybe too easy for them. Like, I'm perfectly happy doing V1, V2 routes.
Yes.
Like, absolutely, it doesn't bother me. I don't mind taking the easy routes and just doing. I could do that forever and just be perfectly happy.
Yeah.
But some people are like, no, if I don't touch the new V4, the new V5 route, I'm not happy. And I'm like, well, fine.
I think that's also one of the reasons why a lot of people are injured, because they're number oriented. So there's like, I needed to do this V5, but like for me, I think because the route, the grade is decided by person, by people. So this person climbing is like, oh, this is hard, so it's like V5. But maybe for another person, like in America, for another person in Europe, they'll think, oh, that's probably a V3.
Yeah.
So I think for us, we have been through this phase that we wanted to climb a V4 or V5 and then talk to people. It's like, hey, I'm a V5 climber. I'm so cool.
Yeah, and that's...
But then it doesn't help, but it helps probably having getting us injured. Yeah, and boosting our ego.
Yeah,
and
I think so.
It doesn't really help at all, like when you go outside.
That's like the difference between, like, I think bouldering and, like, sport climbing. Like, inside and outside is, like, bouldering, you can film yourself. You can show your cool moves, your dyno. You say I'm a V3 climber. But something interesting a coach told me is, you know, you can say you're a V3 climber. Maybe you complete most V3s. But then the thing is how many times can you complete this route in a row? Like, to be this level... You have to climb this V3 3 times in a row.
No rest.
Like, maybe no rest.
Ugh.
And then you can say, like, okay, like, I'm kind of like a V3, V4 climber.
Right.
So, like, right now, I would say, like, I'm maybe a V3 climber.
Then I'm a V2 climber.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like your ability is definitely, like, you can go anywhere in the world, and there's a V3 for you, and you can finish it, no problem.
Yeah.
So I think, oh, I'm a V3 climber.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen some balance routes, like, people climb, like, a V7, right? They'll, they'll complete, like, one V7. But then that's the only V7 they ever climb. So are you going to say, I'm a V7 climber?
Absolutely not.
No, like, that would be a little embarrassing if you go to another gym and then you can only climb V4. Yeah.
It makes sense. But, like, imagine if you go to somewhere like Amsterdam, right? Where everyone is so much taller.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Huge. And their V3 is probably like a much harder for me.
Even
because
some of the Europeans, I saw their hand, and their hand was
huge.
Yeah.
Massive. And then a Chinese girl was comparing her hand to him, and her hand was tiny.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a huge advantage. Like,
huge advantage. Yeah.
So
like, I watch swimmers, and I'm just like,
big hands.
Some swimmers, they just have huge hands and feet.
Yeah.
Right? They're like paddles.
Yeah.
You know, they're swimming with fins.
Yeah.
Like, I have these tiny feet, and then they have like this huge like fin on their foot.
Do,
Like, it's not fair.
Yeah.
Right?
It's physical advantage.
It's a huge advantage.
Yeah.
But like, then that person that sets the route, he's like, oh, you know, this is probably a V3 for me. And I'm like, for me, I have to jump 3 times to even touch that. You know?
Yeah.
So that's why I like a lot of the gyms that have, you know, this grade and says V2 to V3. So that means for some people it's probably a V2, for some people it might be a V3. So I think that's a more scientific.
It's more reasonable.
It's a reasonable way
reasonable.
to grade it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also.
Or it's funny, like sometimes when they're setting route, they'll have like the different bodies climb it. Like they'll have Will climb it. See, it's way too easy for him, and they're like, okay, let's get rid of this hand.
Right.
Let's get rid of this foot, and then they're like. And then they have like a short person climb it, and then they'll have Will climb it, and they're like, okay, we're gonna get rid of It's pretty.
And when I move this, make it this harder. Or
like, let's put this hold here to block it.
Yeah.
Oh, those are the worst. I hate when that happens. Yeah. Like if I can't see that hold, it's behind like a bigger hold. I'm like, oh, why'd you put it there, you jerk? That annoys me so much.
But then I think it's like much more like reasonable.
It is.
Like then it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Like then the route grade is probably better. You can't just set like the route setters have to climb it, but they're also really good.
Right.
Yeah.
They're crazy good. So they'll watch like maybe a lower level climb it, and then they'll be like, okay, that looks about right. And I was like, oh, that's nice.
That's good to know. Yeah. And I think it's good that gyms will go and like adjust the level. Like yesterday I went to V4. They just changed all the routes. And I remember someone was like, that used to be a V2 yesterday. And then today it's a V3. I was like, why is it V3? It's like, just get on the wall, you'll see. And it's because they removed one of the holds and they were like, oh, now it's a lot harder.
Yeah.
That's
and so
nice.
they made it a V3.
It's
and I like that. It's good that they're constantly adjusting the route. It makes me happy. Like, they're not just like, leave it, we'll wait for next month when we change all the routes. Like, people are still trying to fix them, make them better.
It's kind of like also when we went lead climbing in Yanshuo, like they'll say, oh, this route, like a really good climber would climb it, and they would say, oh, it's not a 11B, it's like a 10D. That's already, what, 3 grades? Like
4 grades or 3 grades down.
3 or 4 grades down.
Yeah.
And then I see them climbing it, and they're shaking and trembling, and they're like breathing, shaking out, and I'm just like thinking in my head, if you're struggling, imagine,
how am I gonna do it?
Yeah, imagine what I climb.
And they're like 513, 514 climbers.
Yeah,
and
so
they're
I
shaking.
definitely feel like this is an 11B, but then and
everybody has their own like interpretation of a route.
Yeah.
So that's what make it fun outside.
Yeah.
So that's more accurate when this route is settled as, like 510 or 5B, 510B, 510C for a reason, because you have everybody around the world come climb it, and they all have their idea about it, and this rock never changed.
Yeah.
So you can have it as 514,
sometimes
and then 100 times, like 100 years later, people still come and say, oh, this is definitely a 514.
Yeah.
So
like
then you know that it's your level.
Yeah.
But for rock climbing gym, you can have it, and then like next week it's gone.
Yeah.
Or like next week
especially
I can.
in Shanghai right now, like the gyms are
constantly
changing the routes.
So we went to this gym, and then we want to go back again. Like, but then 2 weeks later, just like
the route's gone.
Routes are gone.
Yeah.
And we're like, whoa, that's fast. Because in the old times, you will wait for like months for gyms to change the routes, and you just can work on something that you can't really do it. But now now that there's so many gyms, and when you go around it and go back to this gym, like everything is very different. Only like a few routes that you still remember is probably there, but that's like what's funny about Shanghai right now. Just everything is changing.
I don't think it's funny. I think it's beautiful on one hand, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like this piece of art that the route setter put on the wall, and it's gone in a month. But also, I think it makes everyone expect that, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
I think because I always hear, oh, I did all the routes that I can, and I won't go back. I'm like, well,
I feel like
you only went once.
Yes.
Like, you can go twice. You can
feel
go
like
3
that's
times.
also like the filming like part of it is like,
because a lot of people are trying to film. So if there's no new routes, so they can't really film themselves doing new movements.
New movements. Yeah. So
that bothers me. I'll be honest. I think that you can come back. Let's do it again. Let's try to get past this one, maybe hard movement.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it on for 2 months.
I don't know if like their goal is to like improve, like progress, because for us, like lead climbing, we definitely want to, like, we have a goal and you want to keep improving, and you can keep improving as long as you're healthy. But then like for like maybe like the inside gym of filming yourself for bouldering, like I don't know if they're really like have a program that they're following, if they're really trying to improve, or it's just a hobby. But it's like a healthy hobby.
It's a good hobby. I don't mind when people film themselves, because it's better than them being in a restaurant filming like dessert. I think that's way healthier. So I don't get
filming like coffee in a like
like
platter.
5 trays of like different breads and like a pudding or something, and then eating with your friends like at weekends. So I think going to rock climbing and film each other is better than doing these hobbies.
I don't think it's bad, right? It's not a bad hobby. There's no
there's no good and bad
hobbies. It's just that I think that some people have maybe slightly unhealthier hobbies.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
like
true,
you should have like a love or a hobby, but there is healthier hobbies.
Right.
Like
it's good to see people moving.
Yeah, good to see people moving.
I think especially for China, it's good that I have so many friends that only play video games now. Like their hobby is just play on your phone, right? And I see that even more with the little kids. Like as you get younger, I went to Taiwan, and I have a niece there who I haven't seen since she was like this big, tiny, and now she's just obsessed with her phone to the point where she's almost rude to everybody else.
Yeah,
because she's just that's her life.
Yeah,
you know.
I see,
and that's scary.
Yeah,
it is.
And I also think it's like, you know, like in the past, like, you know, Chinese don't mean to, but like some of the parents also tell their kids, and like even now I still see it sometimes. They say, "Oh, it's dangerous."
Yeah.
You know, don't do it. It's dangerous. And I just remember growing up, my brother, you know, dislocated his shoulder, his elbow. My brother broke his thumb. You know, my brother had injuries nonstop. I think he even got bit by a raccoon one time and got rabies series. So. That's a little crazy. Like he has bad luck. But like it was just normal. Like injuries are normal. You come back from it. You train. It happens. Like you're still having fun, enjoying yourself. Yeah, you can avoid injury, maybe non-contact sports or something. But yeah, it's just like it doesn't have to be dangerous. It's just like a part of life, and it's fine. But I think for the most part, like. I think if you do top rope climbing, it's really safe. Like I don't see how you would injure yourself in top rope.
Really?
Yeah.
Like lead climbing, there's definitely chances,
but top rope maybe not.
Top rope
it's safer. Like, it's actually safer than bouldering.
I think it's safer than bouldering.
It has less free fall part than bouldering.
Like top rope. It's so safe.
It's also very dependent on who's belaying you, right?
Yeah, that's also true.
But top rope, like you, but you're still like tight. Like
no, not really. Some people might have like problems belaying people.
When I was a kid, I used to want a lot of slack.
Oh, that's if they don't know safety too, though. You have to know safety. I've seen people
learn from their friends.
Go outside, learn from their friends, and then they still haven't. And then their friend just leave them, and they still have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah,
and that's scary. I was like, hey, like you're letting go of the rope. Like you can't transition your hands like this, or. Hey, like you know, you have to pay attention to where you're setting the rope or something like that, and just there's a lot of little things that could go wrong.
That's true.
That's scary. Like you.
That's like they have to have this conscious about safety.
And you also have to have a good coach. Yeah. Like I feel like a lot of people nowadays are just saying, "Oh, I just learned from my friend," or they don't want to pay for the coach fee. But
like that's what we did when we were kids, right? Like.
Yeah.
When I learned climbing, it was high school, and it was just my friends that taught me. Like the entire time, up until college, until I finally got certified to belay, which took years.
Yeah.
Right? And it was because we weren't serious about it.
Yeah.
So you just learn from your friends. Yeah. Right? I used to climb maybe once a month, if that. But you just go, your friends kind of teach you how to belay.
Yeah.
You show them the movement, do the knot, and they're like, "Oh, you're good. Go."
Yeah.
And you don't realize how dangerous it is until you get old and you're like, oh.
And nowadays you have the gri-gri, which is like the
is a lot nicer.
Auto lock.
What is that?
That means if you let go of your hands or something, it still locks. It has safety.
It's like a new
tool? Technology tool.
That's cool.
Of playing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes
so most people buy that, and that's actually a lot safer.
We use it when we lead climb.
Too.
I would not use a
ETC or ATC.
Yeah, I would not use those devices when lead climbing because that's really scary.
Okay.
That's when he falls. I have to really pull down with two hands and use the friction to stop him falling.
Ooh.
But then the gri-gri is so relaxed. All I do is, like, I see he's about to fall. I just keep this shoulder and wrist down next to my side, and this hand's free, so I can stop myself from smacking into the wall. Yeah.
Because I've seen that happen too.
Yeah, but luckily our weight is
not that much of a difference.
Not that much of a difference. I still go flying, but that's good for his back.
Okay.
Right? That's the thing about lead climbing is I think if you learn, you have to pay for a good coach.
I think
experienced ones.
Experienced coach. It's so worth it because, one day my back hurt a little and then his back maybe hurt a little.
Yeah.
And we're like, what's going on? And it was that we were just you know, the first time we learned at an indoor gym how to lead climb, and our belaying was just rough. Like you just see myself like smack into the wall. I just fly into the wall. Like it looks like an ankle breaker, and then same with him. Like he's just like kind of smacking into the wall too. It shouldn't be like that. Like if the person's doing their job, the force, you know, should be really light, and it feels like a free fall. And then that's what you need to pay for, is like also maybe film yourself or have a coach watch you, and they're going to give you little adjustments each time. You have to practice falling. Yeah. You have to fall.
Yeah. But then the approach to how to teach you fall is very different. It's just like when you're in a gym, they'll ask you to go above the quick draw and then say, okay, release your hands. Yeah. So you already give yourself this mental pressure that, oh, I'm going to fall. It's going to be crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna yell in the screen. Yeah. But the way our coach did in Yangshuo is that it's like, go climb this 10B when we just haven't climbed for 2 years or something like that. We haven't climbed for like and a year or 2 years. Lead climb it. It's okay, no problem.
That seems really scary.
It was so scary.
That seems terrifying.
It's so scary. And then
we climbed to the certain point that I can't proceed anymore. I was just like, I can't do it. He's like, then just jump. It's okay. And then I said, I can't. I'm gonna fall. And it's like, jump. It's okay. And then I jumped. And then it's a nice fall. It's okay.
And
you scream like a little girl like the first 3 times, but
like I'm scared.
Like I'm talking about myself too. Like
not really a little girl, just like screaming, you know. And
that's so.
Not necessarily that man. Like no man can scream like that manly when they're really scared.
And then, you know, he's scared of heights, right? Like that's huge. Yeah. So he gets really snappy, like grouchy on the wall. Yeah, he would be like, you need to take right now. And then coach is like, don't take.
It's like either take a fall or keep climbing.
Yeah. He's like,
and I'm like, okay. I just because I trust him. He's a really good climber, so I trust him and I keep climbing. And maybe that day I fought like 20 times.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And then after that, I just don't care anymore. Just like, that I'm gonna fall.
You're
I fall.
relaxed, like.
Yeah. So now I'm over it. Sometimes I still have this fear if I go to a new crag and that I haven't climbed before. I don't know how it goes. But after I fall once, I'm like, okay, I can do it.
You kind of feel it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's. I always compare that to people who just learned swimming. Yeah. Like when you first realize that I'm going to sink right now, you freak out. And then after a couple times, it gets better. Each time. Each time you feel like you're going to drown and you don't drown, you're like, oh, it's not as bad as I thought it was. And it keeps getting better. But you need those first couple of like big gulps of water. Yeah. Where you're like, I'm not okay here. And then your coach has to be good enough to be like, I'm going to let them drown for a little bit.
Yeah.
Just kind of understand that you're not going to die.
Yeah.
But once you get that feeling a couple times, your body is just like, oh, I'm okay here.
Yeah.
And you feel better.
And then you can enjoy the process.
The rest of the process.
The rest of it. Yeah.
Because you were doing free diving for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I'm like
she has aquaphobia.
I think I do, because I had like a drowning incident when I was a kid, and then almost died like possibly of hypothermia one time. Oh. Yeah, that was really scary. And so when I went free diving and we had to do the static breath hold, you know, you just don't move, you just lay there. Yep. I would just cry. Like, I don't know why.
Jeez.
I was like, I cannot do it. And I'd get frustrated with myself. Like, I think I'd cry more because I'm frustrated. I don't know what is, like, blocking me. Yeah. Like, I don't know what the mental block is and how to get past it.
Yeah.
And that was super frustrating. But then when we would go dive down 20 meters,
be okay.
I'd be okay. As long as I was moving or active.
She can be underwater going down to 20 meters and swim around and come back, and takes like 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah.
But then when she's doing static hold at the surface of the water, only takes it's like 1 minute and 30 seconds. She's like, I can't do it anymore.
That's weird.
That's very weird.
It's super weird.
What'd the coach say?
But you know, I think I experienced
psychology,
it.
I think. Psychological.
It's psychological. Because I also experienced it when lead climbing. Like, it was the first time we went climbing without our coach, and he was like, you can do all the 10As and stuff like that, you know, like kind of beginner level. And he's like, you can do it. And I think actually I went to do a 5.9. And the beginning of the 5.9, I did the first quick draw. So the first quick draw is maybe 3 meters off of ground, right? So if you fall on that, if you climb past it, you fall, you're going to hit the ground. Okay. And I also might injure him. I might slam into my partner too. So it could hurt him.
So the first one's very dangerous.
First three are very dangerous because you have to think about you're possibly going to fall 5 meters or 3 meters, but this person has to give you the slack to climb up. But then when you fall, they have to take it.
Right.
But the most injuries I've seen from that is also the person falls on the belayer, and the belayer gets their knocked. Head or something smacked into the wall, gets pinned.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not fun.
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah. And the second quick draw was a little higher, but for some reason that part of the wall was like very slippery.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the next hand like was like kind of like a dynamic movement, but it was a big hold. But like for some reason I just couldn't get past that one.
Because you didn't know about if it's good.
I didn't know if it's a good hold or not because I can't reach it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm hesitating, and then I just have this mental block, and I just like I keep trying over and over again, and I just start crying. Oh. Yeah. I was just really mad at myself, right? Because I'm supposed to be able to climb this. Yeah. But then I don't know why I can't. So then I just start like bawling my eyes out, and I was like, okay, well, you climb it first.
Yeah.
And then he also...
Because she did that, and I know that she's a calmer person than me, right? Yeah. So when I climb, I'm super nervous.
Yeah.
Always.
So I'm like, I just like exert way too much energy on the move.
You're better than she is.
He's stronger.
I'm stronger.
He's stronger.
But she has better understanding or technique
and I have a better awareness of
body.
Body. Yeah. Right. So I'm like... I climb pretty compared to him.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a good climber is when you watch them climb.
And it's effortless.
It's effortless. Yeah. They look light, or they just like, they just move. Like you can just see their focus and going. For Will, sometimes, he's still working on it. He's getting a lot better. For Will, sometimes it's like, he's just like growling and going
it's
for
the same thing in jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah.
Like some people like muscle through movements.
Yeah,
and some people just flow.
Like flow, and then you just see some people just force.
Yeah.
And strength. So that's like what you have to like practice. Right. Mm-hmm. But for me, my strength is bad. That's why I'm starting to lift. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Anyways, and then what happened was I saw him fall a couple times, but then I did it, and I red point it. Red point.
I have no idea.
Red point is like when
you lead climb this whole route without falling or without taking, and just finish this route.
You just finish it.
But then it's not the first time. You never seen this route.
Yeah.
You practice a little bit, so that's called red point.
Okay.
But then if you haven't seen this route and it's the first time climbing it and you finished it, that's called onsite.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So onsite's way more important than red point, but then a lot of times you can't really onsite.
I could have onsite it, but then I panicked. So like
so
then
it's red point.
But I red point. But still, like that's really good because he didn't red point. So
I red pointed it.
I think you did a take at one part.
5.9. That's 5.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe
I already
not.
finished
maybe not.
It. Yeah.
Okay. So and then we did a 5.10 A. And I went first, and I climbed it, and I was like, actually, this is pretty easy. Like, this one's fun.
Yeah.
And then I got to one part, and I saw it's a Gaston movement.
Yeah.
It's like an open, and the open, for most people, open's good, right?
Right.
But I'm not there yet. Like, my forearm, my wrist, my fingers are not there yet. And I grab it, and I was like, this is hard. I can barely hold this. And then I have to Gaston
the other one.
All the way over here.
Okay.
And so it's kind of like a little dynamic movement. And I seen some people like, go on it too, like yelling on it. And so I was like, okay, I really don't know if I can do this. And I think my last quick draw was maybe 3 meters below me, 2 meters below me.
2 meters-ish.
2
but then
meters?
It was a huge hole underneath.
Okay.
And so
if she fall, she could possibly
hit the ledge.
Hit into the hole or something or hit the ledge.
Yeah, so you have to kick off the wall when you fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then... So then when I went to go for it, I fell. Mm-hmm. And I was used to falling, so I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden I don't know if it was my ankle or there was something with the belay that was wrong. I hit my ankle and I flipped because that will happen. You'll
scary.
Flip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary, but it was still kind of like a good catch. Like it didn't hurt. But then my ankle, I was like, I can't climb. Like my ankle started hurting. That's like a situation where it's dangerous, right? When you can hit your ankle. So I hit my ankle and I was like, okay, I can't climb. And then I think it hurt for like 3 days.
More than 3 days, almost like a week.
Almost a week, and I just did exercise and stuff. And then when I came back and I was like, okay, I'm going to climb this 510A, I was like so scared. I just told him I don't know if I can do it. It was like a mental block.
Yeah.
And you just have to go. And that first fall, I was terrified. Like, I could have climbed this certain route, but I just like gave up and let go before I got to the difficult part, let go and screamed. And then for me, that's very frustrating. I was like, oh, what are you doing? Like, why am I psyching myself out, you know? Like, you
How'd you get over it?
Falling a lot. I still haven't gone back to that route, but I will go back. For me, my weakness is strength. Yeah. Because when we first went to Yanshuo, I couldn't even do one pull-up. I can't do
How many can you do now?
I can do two now, maybe 3, but after I do my pull-ups after training.
Right. No problem.
Yeah, sometimes.
So maybe 5. Maybe 5.
Maybe not. Well, just like no.
3.
Yeah.
Let's call it 3.
Okay.
Yeah. So I feel a lot stronger now. I think if I went back, I could do it.
You definitely do it.
I think I could definitely do it.
Because you finished 11B. But then like this 10A just maybe something that traumatized her a little bit. So and also it's a big movement. So maybe she will get scared at the point that she froze.
It's the ledge. Whenever I see a ledge or a balance route, like there's like slab, you know. Slab is just balance. I'm like, no way. Like that's like you're gonna like you see people fall on those. Yeah. Just scrape their ankle. Yeah. Like it's just like down the wall. That does not look fun. And that's why we were talking to our friends. We all kind of like right now overhang. But then that's exhausting.
That's exhausting.
You have to be super strong.
Yeah.
But then there's nothing to fall on. Right?
Yeah.
It's a safe fall.
Yeah, it's a safe
fall. So I was like, oh, I want to like start to learn that more. Practice like overhang more. But I had to get my strength up a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
So you guys got into, let's say, you started on top rope, you started doing more lead climbing, and then there's that other one that you guys recently told me about. What's the other one called?
Were you talking about tread or something, or
maybe?
What?
I don't know.
That means that you put the pin inside the wall.
Tread is scary.
Why are you guys doing like all of these scary things?
No,
like,
we're just thinking about it, but not really.
Okay, haven't gotten into it
we
yet.
Still needed to have probably years of practice in sports climbing first. And then we go to trad climbing because trad is basically there's no bolts for you.
Yeah.
So you have to choose. Okay, so this is a good size of a crack. I'm gonna choose this size of a plug to anchor myself in there.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's up to you to choose where to put or when to put. So it needs experience. And sometimes if you did it wrong,
and if you're tired, you're tired and you're just like that's really sketchy. You have to be calm. You have to be like have good endurance, take your time to put it in.
This is something you guys are going to do forever. That's my guess right now.
Yes. Yeah. Like like I said, lead climbing completely changed
our aspects towards rock climbing. It's like now we find a very different world, and we absolutely loved it. And I think we spent almost 4 months just living there in Yangshuo, and just every day we just feel so much joy. Just thinking about going to the mountain sometimes, you know, and probably finishing this project that we're having. And after that, we just go back to the gym in Yangshuo and we train, meet our coach, talk about what's happening, what can we improve on, what kind of training program can we have. So this is actually like the best time that we ever had.
It's rewarding, like it is. It's not like, I don't know why other sports, like I'm like, okay, like it was
That's
fun.
What I wanted to ask.
Yeah, but then like rock climbing, it's like such a, like at least for lead climbing, you know, it's such a process. It's like, what's next? Like, how am I going to get there? Oh, my strength isn't good enough. Oh, my technique needs a little work. And it's just like step by step, how are you going to get there?
Yeah.
And
you're always on this process thing. I never hear Will be like, yeah, man, I love this program.
I think it was ever since like my certified personal trainer program. I learned about like, you know, the first part is stabilization, the next part is like, you know, hydropathy, and then the next part is, you know,
hypertrophy.
Hypertrophy. Okay.
And then the next step is, you know, maximal strength. The next step is like power. Yeah. So I think I have that in my head, and then after like making friends with some like professional coaches and then physical therapists, then I started to realize how important
you put a lot of things into that kind of mindset.
Yeah.
I have none.
But like he
just climb. I just have fun.
He wants to reach a high level.
Isn't that more fun though? To me,
I always think that maybe she enjoy it. Yeah. So she like wants to read this entire book about, you know, strengthening and conditioning. Yeah. And then she'll talk to me nonstop like for an hour about what she read. Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, sounds cool. I don't know anything about it.
Oh, like, you know, climbing is like you need to be flexible or you need this or that, but you look at some of the top athletes, they're just strong.
Yeah.
And then you talk to a lot of like coaches or, you know, PTs and stuff, they're like, no, rock climbing is purely strength. Like, it's like a lot of it is strength.
And you have to have power.
You know, it's funny, like we watch our coach climb sometimes, and he wouldn't even use feet. He would just climb V4, do 5 pull-ups. And
he climbed a 513 with flip-flops.
Yeah.
And we were like, what? That's insane.
And that's just like, you know, he even has like a pinky muscle.
Yeah.
You can see the pinky muscle.
He did 10 pull-ups with only one pinky.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But anyway,
he was bored. And he trained for that. So.
Yeah, he's bored.
And we asked him, like, can it like apply to rock climbing anyways? He's like, no, it's just for fun.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
you know,
that's
I think
cool.
for Will too, like he's stronger, so he, you know, things are just starting to develop naturally. But for me, you know, I sometimes like I feel like he's way ahead of me, so I have to train in order to like meet up with him.
Stay on the same path.
Stay on the same path. And sometimes he'll be like, "Oh, why can't you climb this? Just do it." And it's just.
I like when Will says that. Like to me, Will has so much faith in you. Will thinks you are so much better than you actually are.
Yeah.
Will's like, no, Nat's here, and I'm like, Nat's probably like here.
Yeah.
But he always seems to believe in you. To be like, no, Nat can do this. And I'm like, all right,
it's fine. It's fine as long as he doesn't get like frustrated with me.
Sometimes I get too high of expectation that
you
sometimes
have to bring it down a little.
Yeah, and then we probably have like in a disagreement with like how much ability she actually have.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I look at her doing all these movements. I was like, if you have the strength in doing this, you can probably do a very high level like in climbing. And then she's like, oh, I don't have power. I was like, but then like sometimes you don't need that much power.
Yeah.
So.
But then I talked to my other friend, and they're really strong, and they have their, you know, their system that they follow. And then he said, you need to start practicing pull-ups. You need to start lifting. You need to start doing this. And I was like, he's like, if you want to climb that, like your muscle is not enough, like your strength is not enough. And I was like, okay. I was like, thank you. Like, and I actually like that because like I like being told what I need to like work on.
Yeah.
And then I started doing like, you know, I thought TRX like, oh, whatever, like it's not going to do anything. You do the row constantly, you know, it's your back, your posterior chain. And I started doing it and started doing the reach and the pull and reach. And then it's the same in climbing. You lock, you reach. I could never do like a static lock. I'm not kidding. Like if it was an overhang or anything, I had to do dynamic.
Right.
Every time. That's really exhausting. And then my fingers would get blisters and, you know, peel. And now I go and do a static and I reach and I was like, that's so cool. I was like, well, did you see that? Yeah. And then that's like,
that stuff's important.
Yeah, that's why I think for rock climbing it's also like you have to train and then you have to go climb. Yeah. So there's the fun part, but there's always like not as fun part.
Yeah. I think it's still fun.
Yeah, but it's still kind of fun when you do these movements and feel how strong you are. You're like, wow, I'm like amazing. And you feel good about yourself. And then that gives you confidence. And I think in rock climbing, a lot of times that you don't know if you can finish it. It's the confidence that helped you to get it. Yeah. So I really like when people in the outside just saying that, you know, come on, or just say allez. I don't know why allez, but it's French, right?
It's French.
But a lot of people say that. And I think it's good. It's nice. But like, you know, some people just tell you what to do. I think that's a little annoying because
that's like
I hate that shit
that's
too.
That's a new trend right now.
Yeah, a lot of people like to coach you so you can finish one thing. Yeah. But I think the for us, not for most people, but for us, the best part of rock climbing is you figure out yourself. Yeah. It's kind of like doing a puzzle. But if somebody already like show you, okay, so this is what this puzzle is supposed to go, and you finish it. So no matter how many pieces there are, like 3,000, 5,000 pieces, but still like under instruction of other people, the puzzle doesn't make any sense to you. It's not as fun. It's not that you figure out from all these different shapes of things that you can, this is next to this, this is next to that, and then you figure out yourself, and it's like, wow, I did something amazing. Yeah. But if you are instructed by somebody along the way of everything, like, oh, this is the left hand, do this on the right hand, or like do lift your right foot, and then you do this movement, but then I don't see like, you know, what is the feeling of achievement in this. So I think it's okay that, you know, somebody really wanted to get this project done, so they ask for help. Then a lot of people just start to coach you before you even touch this wall. Or
I don't consider that beta. Like beta is
when you actually tried.
when you already tried, and maybe you already tried multiple times, and then a friend or someone is like, hey, maybe you could try this.
Yeah.
But I don't like when people say, oh, you should do this, or you should grab the left hand, right hand match, blah blah, and that's just
because like you don't have my body, you don't know if this movement is efficient for me.
Right.
Maybe for me there's better movements. Maybe I need to figure out a way to, if I see this formation, it's like, okay, I should do this in this situation in the future. So I see in a lot of gyms that we go, most people just look at their friends before they even go to the wall.
Yeah.
And then the friends like immediately know that, oh, like she needs help. And then they're just like, okay, go with your left foot. And this is how you started, or this is how you finish it.
Or they get in the habit of they grab it and then they look at them. They're like looking back at them, and then it's just like, you just touched the route.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you just try it one time?
Yeah.
So
but maybe it's different. Some people like the ideal of finishing the route.
Correct.
But we like the ideal of figuring out the route.
It's a different goal.
Yeah.
Right? And I think some people are goal oriented. Yeah. Some people are journey oriented.
Yes.
And I think the journey is more fun than the goal.
Yeah.
Right?
But if you would go to, like, because competitions are fun. Like, we went to a little fun competition in Yanshuo. And that was
How'd you do?
She went. She got number 4.
I was pretty happy, but there wasn't like actually there
it was more of a fun competition.
Yeah,
it's not
there
really
was
like a very
still
serious
really
one.
good climbers there, but they were all more of lead climbers, not so much bouldering. But it was fun. It was really fun. Will did really good because those guys were insane.
Oh yeah.
And some of the guys that came, because they were all like 514 climbers.
514,
and then they were like probably V7 or V6 climbers. Yeah. And Will still took 11th place. So I was like, that's awesome. Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of because we already know the routes. Yeah. Because we always train at that gym. And when they change the routes, we still climb it. And then I know, okay, I can finish this one. So I save my time by going to the routes I can do first and then go for the harder ones.
It was really funny, though, that our coaches never told us how to climb it.
Yeah.
And then after the competition, we still couldn't finish it. And they're like, they would tell us, oh, you're supposed to do this and that. And then we did it, and we were like, why didn't you tell us before? And they can't. Because it's part of the competition. And I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, that's right.
Yeah.
But I like what you said a while back. You didn't know the hold, right? You were doing the lead climbing. You didn't know the hold, and you weren't sure what it feels like.
Yeah.
Like, only recently did I start realizing that I go on the wall, and even before I climb it, I go and feel and just touch as many of the holds as I can first. Just be like, oh, it's better this way. Is it better on top? And just touch as many holds as I can before I start the route.
I don't do that.
And I realize that helps me so much.
Yeah, it could.
Because it gives you so much more confidence in like, I know that hold is supposed to lean left or lean right.
Yeah.
And if I know the hold or I've felt it before, I'm much more confident to go and reach it.
Yeah.
And that's helped me so much. Before I was like, I just look at the holds or the route and I'm like, okay, I think I know what I'm doing.
It kind of makes me think about like lead climbing outside because
it's actually good because with the idea of what the hold is, you can be committed to do the movement you want to.
Correct.
But then for lead climbing, actually it's a bad habit, I would say. Because for lead climbing, most of the routes, for example, if you just go to see this route, you don't know any of the movement until you actually lock in and feel around and see, this is a good movement. This is a good hold, or that's a good hold. Maybe and then you hold it onto it, and then you do the other movement. So the first time of the lead climbing is always you exploring it the entire rock around you and see what is a good hand.
Well, what happened too is I think it was raining a lot in Yasha.
Yeah.
It was raining probably for 2 weeks at one point. So our friends are like, okay, let's go to Chicken Cave, which is all overhead. Our level.
It's called Chicken Cave, called Jiwodu. So it's actually is called Chicken Cave, it is something like that. It's not something like the people she made it up or something.
I was like, I think Nat just got the wrong translation.
It is like that,
There's some pretty weird and bad names in the book, okay? So but anyways, it was a cave and we weren't ready for overhead, so we had to do top rope.
Okay.
You're so relaxed. Top rope, you don't care. I don't care if I swing out. I'm just like, woo, it's fun. And then when you grab you can feel around and grab, you know, you're not in a rush or anything, and you say, oh, this is better, oh, this is better.
Right.
And then, you know, I actually thought it didn't help us at all for lead climbing, because you would go back to lead climbing and then you felt I just felt a little tense, like not as relaxed.
Yeah.
And then same thing, one route I lead climb it before I would top rope it before I lead climb it. And when I go to lead climb it, it just doesn't feel the same. Like, it's nice when you go to a route and you try to on-site it, because you have no idea what it's going to be like. And then you grab this hold and you grab this other one and you're like, oh, this one's bad, this one's bad. Oh, you should just go with the first one. Like, the first one you grab, you're going to waste so much energy if you're feeling around. You go with the first one, you commit to it. You don't get scared. You just have to have that confidence, or, you know, believe in yourself. Yeah. And I think that's the thing with like bouldering too and stuff is if you go out and lead climb, you don't have someone that's 20 meters like in the sky with you, you know, 20 meters up
Tell you
on
exactly
the wall,
what to do.
telling you exactly what to do.
Right.
Yeah.
You have
It's all you.
It's all you.
Yeah.
So it doesn't help. Like, for me, I really can't stand it. And then I remember someone saying one time, oh, you want beta? I was like, I do not want beta. And ever. And I think they were offended, and I told her, I was like,
they probably
sorry.
think that you're hard to be with or something, but then, like, for us, we have the reason, because we need to have this habit of always figuring out by ourselves. And if we can't really figure out by ourselves, then we ask for help. So that's like kind of like when we do math homework when we were little, we always wanted to do it first, so we know how to figure it out, because during the examination, nobody's gonna come here and like, do you want to copy my answer? Like, do you want to copy my process, right? Because nobody's gonna help you. So I think for rock climbing, it's kind of like the similar of solving a puzzle. And if you don't practice your ability to how to solve the puzzle, then when you're actually out there when nobody can help you, then you're just lost.
So it's really fun, because you'll see like one route and that everybody will have their own style. So some people say, oh, this route's easy because they think the opens are nice. I grab the open, I just fall. I grab the open, there's no confidence. I just start
You gotta be kidding me.
I was like, you gotta be kidding me, it's slippery.
And they're like big, it's so nice. It's like, you know, you can rest and put your hand in the chalk.
Say, oh, it's huge. You grab it.
And then we grabbed it, we just fall, and they were like, you gotta be kidding me, man.
That's fun though.
It is fun.
And they laugh.
They laugh about it.
But that's happening everywhere. I think it's happening because of social media. So everyone sees the same videos and then starts doing the same things without kind of trying it themselves. I remember talking to, I want to say it's Alicia. I talked to someone about boxing and how when they were younger, a lot of boxers had their own style. But now, as the world is more connected, the boxers know what the judges are looking for, and so it becomes more and more similar. And styles are becoming a lot more narrow, like a lot more similar, because they know what the judges are looking for, or they know what's maybe more efficient. And coaches are teaching the same shit. Instead of letting you kind of figure out your own style.
That's why I really like the lead climbers out in Yanshuo that we met. Every person is so unique. Very different. Individual. They have their own opinion, their own idea. They're really fun. Everyone's super interesting.
In a bad way, it's stubborn, but on the good way, it's just like everybody's very unique to themselves.
And then you don't really see them posting on social media that much. If they do post on social media,
it's gonna be like, oh, I finished this route and this is the process of this.
But they're all really fun. It's pretty cool to meet all of them.
So what's the future plan for you two now? Because you two, you had weird plans for a while, right?
Really weird.
We always have weird plans.
All over the place.
Like maybe today I talked to you and tomorrow is like, that's a bad plan. We met someone who's just saying, oh, that's a better plan. It's like, and then we just changed it completely.
There were plans to go back to the States for a little bit. There was plans to, and you guys are all over the place to the point where I'm like, I don't know what they're doing. Like, people have asked me, like, oh, I have no idea what Will+Nat are doing. Let them figure. They'll tell you eventually.
She doesn't even know what I'm doing. Like maybe like what I plan to do. It's kind of like one day we're watching the Pirates of the Caribbean, and then next day I signed up for a sailing class. And then we just like in Songjiang just sailing, like learn from these people, and then I'm becoming the translator for her.
I was also very hesitant about learning lead climbing. I didn't really want to because we didn't climb for a year, or seriously for a year and a half. For 2
years actually, because my injury.
Yeah, because his injury. And then when we went there, it was like, okay, we're gonna go lead climbing. I panicked a little. And I told him, I don't know about that. I don't feel confident yet. Yeah. And he's just telling me, oh, it's no problem. Just go, do it.
You definitely can do it. No problem. You're super strong. Like you just learned yoga and stuff. You know, you can definitely finish it. No problem.
I think before we really enjoyed surfing, so we were thinking about moving to Bali. Like, oh, we're gonna go live in Bali for a while, maybe Australia.
You're a super good surfing coach or something.
But then when we went to Yangshuo and did lead climbing, then our plans changed again.
Yeah.
Then we were like, we're gonna go to Canada, go to Squamish, we're gonna climb, we're gonna finish a 512 this year.
Yeah. And then we said, oh, we're gonna maybe go to Europe next year too, and then
and travel around the world while climbing different kind of crag and see like what the mountain is like there, and just meet more people and just climb.
So like that's the overall idea now.
Yeah.
Just go travel and climb.
Yeah. Traveling and climb.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Like right now I have a lot of friends that are they have one skill and they can use that skill anywhere. So for example, I have a friend that's in Vietnam right now. Wow. She's a tattoo artist. And she's just like, oh, I'm going to do, you know, on Instagram, I have my following, and then I will be in this city at this time, book my time. And then people are like, oh, okay. Nice. I will, you know, do a tattoo with you at this place. She gets however much money from 4 or 5 tattoos, and she just spends that money in that city. And then she's like, I've had enough of this city, next city. And then she'll tell, you know, on Instagram or wherever, this is where I'm going to be headed. Who wants a tattoo? And using that skill, she just travels anywhere.
Yeah.
That's nice.
We were thinking about maybe we'll eventually become... I don't know. We're all over the place, right?
You guys,
we're kind of like
maybe guides for rock climbing.
Maybe we'll be guides for rock climbing. We can learn that. Maybe something else, but then still
we're still figuring out like what is our dream life or something. You know, we tried all these kinds of outdoor like sports. When we tried jiu-jitsu, we tried like basically anything that interests us. We just try it, and then we actually see if it's fit for us or fit for our lifestyle. Is it like, you know, creating a lot of injuries, or is it something that we really want to do for?
So far, surfing
and rock climbing is our passion right now.
Yeah, and the injury is, I don't know, I feel
less.
minimal.
Okay,
a little less. Yeah,
it's manageable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like somebody's gonna break your arm at any time.
No.
Yeah.
I get that because it just seems like you guys have this I just want to be free lifestyle. Yeah. Like I don't want to be one place for too long. I just want to kind of go.
Yeah.
Everyone right now that I know is looking for that lifestyle.
Yes.
And no one's had kind of like the balls to be like, I'm just going to go do it.
I think also
last year helped us a lot.
What happened last year?
Yeah.
Because we're always trying to like pursue our kind of like lifestyle that we're having right now, but we're always hesitating because of the money situation.
Yeah.
Because you know, if you don't work, you don't have money.
Yeah.
But also the thing is we had enough money, but is like you need to think about like, you know, budgeting and stuff like that, and you need to think about
those are hard conversations. Those are not easy.
And
those are very stressful.
It depends on like what you eat, right? Or if you can cook, and then what kind of living conditions you're okay with. Yeah. So you have to be adaptable, or you have to have a ton of money.
Yeah. So last year we went to Hainan when Shanghai has lockdown, and we stayed there for 3 months, and then during that period of time, I become like a coffee barista. I just learned coffee from this person.
I learned yoga,
and she learned yoga and become yoga coach, and we trying to make some money while we're staying there. Yeah. And also we don't care about the living condition. We basically rent a place for 1,000 RMB, and this place doesn't have a bed, only have a mattress. We slept on the floor for like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah. How was it?
Horrible. And no kitchen actually, so we bought this you know, like a pot, a frying pan plate. Something like combined this tool, and we
bought a scooter, and we started getting comfortable there, but then
sleeping on the floor.
Well, comfortable with the lifestyle there, like also making a little money. And then I don't know why we were so stressed. We're just like stressed about money, but we don't need to be really.
Yeah.
And then I started hearing about everyone saying, "Oh, I want to come to Hainan from Shanghai."
Yeah.
During like after the lockdown, and I told Will, I think it's time that we leave.
Yeah.
I don't think it's smart for us to stay here
because when people come from Shanghai to Hainan, it's probably going to be more lockdowns.
Yeah. So we went to Yunnan.
Go to Yunnan.
So you guys left right before the Hainan lockdown.
Yes.
You guys are lucky. Nice job.
So lucky.
We're so alert, man. Like we see this person at this place have like one case. It was like, maybe we need to leave. Yeah.
That's smart.
Or we go to like really rural areas where there's not really any visitors.
Yeah.
No
so
tourists
the policy is actually like all right.
Kind of lax.
It's not gonna be like, okay, everybody's gonna stay at home.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
because they can't also like their lifestyle, like the living conditions there, you have to work, you have to go out to the farms, go out to the cattle.
Yes.
It's not an option to just sit at home.
Correct.
Yeah, and also it's like crazy amount of mountains and lakes and stuff. So you go inside this mountain, you can just stay here for like as long as you want, and nobody's gonna ever meet you.
Yeah, but then you're sleeping in a mountain.
That's true though. Yeah, we didn't go that far yet. So yeah.
That's how I imagine you two eventually. Like when you guys are maybe like 50, and where's Will? Oh, he's in that mountain. When was the last time you saw him? Like months ago.
Yeah, like is he still alive? Like not sure.
Not sure yet. We'll let you know in a couple more months.
Yeah.
He's gonna get hungry and then he's gonna come back down.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah. So
that's not a bad life. I don't think that's wrong.
I think it's actually
it was
fine.
lucky. Like, it pushed us out of our comfort zone. I always tell Will that like it's important to like, have something to push you. And I know COVID was, bad for a lot of people, the situation, everything, especially if you have kids, it's horrible. But then for us, like it's like bad, but I'm kind of grateful it happened because it pushed us out of our comfort zone.
Yeah.
It made us like go do these things and realize, what are we doing? Why are we still, trying to work a 9-to-5 job, kind of idea?
Yeah.
When we are making enough money, we can go do what we want to do.
Right.
And we should follow like our passion or what we love. And we do love the outdoors. Like it's a place where we really, I really feel at peace outdoors. And rock climbing is an amazing feeling. Being out on the wall, lead climbing, and maybe meeting our friends out there, climbing with them.
Yeah.
Having barbecue, making little coffee, and then just
it
climbing.
Is pretty fun, yeah.
And then
it's not wrong.
Surfing too. Like you go out on the wave and you see your friends. You're like, hey, how are you this morning? And you see the same people, the same community every morning. It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
And
it's nice that when you go out and everybody knows you, they say hi to you.
But then the scenery is beautiful, like the sunset. Like we were saying in Hainan, the one day you're on the surfboard, all these little shrimps start popping out of the water, and the locals are just eating them.
Yeah.
Raw.
Like they're just everywhere.
It's just like we're waiting for a wave, and then all our surfing boards here, and also a lot of like this transparent little shrimp just like jumping everywhere. And she's like, "What's going on?" And then they go like they're like raining on her surfing board, and all these locals like and just like paddle towards her, and then go around her and just like going like this. And then we see this like manta ray. Like eagle ray popping out of the water.
That's awesome.
Before the sunrise, and then like the sun shines on the sea. It's like all golden.
I saw a shark as well. I saw
she saw a black tip
shark.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
maybe as long as
a black tip's not that.
Yeah.
And I saw that. I was freaked out though.
Really?
Yeah.
I laid on the surfboard for 10 minutes. I didn't dare.
Get out of here. That's not that dangerous.
I'm still spooked.
It's kind of like the first encounter that you like. They're not harmful, but then you're not so 100% sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But then after that, maybe she's more comfortable with them.
But you guys have been diving, like.
Yeah.
But diving, we
didn't see anything.
Yeah, like we've only been like scuba diving in Puerto Galera, like Philippines.
It's all like nudies, and it's all like small things or sea turtles.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Like we really want to see like sharks or whales, but then before that,
go like hopefully work for like Ocean Ramsey. Have you seen that?
Nope.
They did the study of sharks and tiger sharks and how
tiger sharks.
They're playing with sharks.
They're playing like they're playing with them and swimming them and showing you how to redirect the shark. So
maybe we're gonna take some Tai Chi class first.
Right.
It's fine.
It's gonna be a
shark
master's.
jujitsu.
It's like
you just redirect them.
Right.
And that would be neat, or
really cool.
going
the guillotine somehow. Like
guillotine a shark.
It's like yield. Yeah.
But I mean, I've been scuba diving since I was a kid.
Wow.
And
Jersey, right?
We used to go to Hawaii a lot when we were.
Oh, wow.
When I was kidding.
That's super nice.
That's super
And
nice.
like,
that's a dream.
And I remember going to the Bahamas and scuba diving. But like you learn like all the hand signals for like different animals. Like this is shark, right?
Oh, that's so cute.
When you're scuba diving, you can't talk. Shark. I remember this is sea turtle.
Sea turtle, yes.
And like they get the little. Everyone has like different hand signals for different things.
Yeah.
Like, shark. You know, and that's awesome. Like I love that shit.
Yeah.
I could see you guys doing that. I think that'd be.
I would like to learn spearfishing.
Oh my god, me too.
I would really love to learn.
We actually had some chances to learn, but then we're not really like sure that we can stay there for a long time, so we didn't.
Because that fish is not that good, and you're like in China, like if you did the spearfishing and you have to eat it every single day.
So the first day we were like, oh, that's amazing, but then second day or like 4 days in a row that we're eating this fish hot pot, we're like. Please, like I do anything for like an egg or something. Because they got this like huge fish, and it's supposed to be like the second yummiest fish in the world. But then like we had sashimi the first day, fish hot pot the second day, grilled fish the third day, and we look like this fish is like,
you gotta mix it up like an octopus or something, you know?
Yeah,
or
we're like, please, like I want to eat some beef or some like pork.
I got you.
But then this fish is free.
Yeah,
and then like, so they're like, and it's free, we just eat it.
Yeah.
But for us,
after the budgeting, you're like, this is we're earning money on this one.
It's really cool because of social media now. How some of those free divers like they have like such a great living situation because they're making a ton of money. Like Yeti is sponsoring them. Or they have the spearfishing companies sponsoring them, or Hawaii is just like for people to travel
for tourism.
For tourism. That's amazing. That's a good dream too. And
because you guys are also doing like 小红书 and B 站 videos, right?
We did,
We started.
You guys have to keep doing that. You guys really
are trying to do that because think about how much we traveled last year. It's like maybe it's time for me to actually do it and see how it goes.
Yeah.
So maybe if there's somebody who's like willing to.
I think he's really good at it too. Like
I think your videos are good.
I help him film, but then he does all the editing and
editing takes so much time.
Much time, and he does all the like thinking about how do I reach out to a certain audience? What do I want them to like
how to say put all these together, make a like sensible story or something. Yeah.
That I think he does a really good job, and even some of the videos we have, like some of the trips, very limited videos, and somehow he still made a like 1 minute clip, and I was like, that's great.
Dude, I think if you guys kept doing that, you would totally get sponsored.
Yeah.
And then it would pad a lot of that difficult money situation lifestyle. Right?
Could,
Like even if it's not like, oh, I can live off of this. But it's still enough money where you're like, I'm more comfortable. And I have to make less, right?
Yes.
I can have more freedom.
Yeah.
I don't think that's wrong.
Because U.S., there is some social media people that make an insane amount of money right now. Yeah, of course. And,
here too.
There's always people.
Yeah, here too. And I always show him like their videos, or their content, and I was like, Will,
it's just okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I was like, Will, if you actually post your you have to reach out to multiple. You have to use multiple platforms, right? You can't just use one. And then I was telling him, we got to put it on Instagram. We got to do this.
Yeah.
And I was telling him, people have no idea what China is like. When I was posting on Instagram what wild China was like, or these parks, or some of the rehabilitation center for pandas, like the pandas zoo, even in Sichuan, they thought it was wild. I was telling them this is a zoo, and they were in shock. They couldn't believe how beautiful this zoo was, and then
after you see the slides, and they still think it's wild.
Yeah, I don't know.
Pandas though are like they're guobao, right? They're like we have to take good care of these things.
That's true. Pandas
that's
so
different.
But there was we went and saw this monkey in Yunnan. It was super fun. It was really cool to see. They look like Michael Jackson.
They do.
I don't know what type of
Michael Jackson monkeys.
Is it an ape? It's an ape, or no? It's a monkey.
Snub-nosed monkey.
Snub-nosed monkey. So cute.
Super
Michael
cute.
Jackson's not that cute.
I don't know where you're going. Like a mini Michael Jackson is actually pretty cute.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll show you pictures later.
Okay. You guys saw that weird wolf thing too, right?
Yeah.
Well, he almost
that?
He
I almost hit him.
Hit the wolf.
You guys are crazy.
I couldn't believe it. I was in shock.
Because we were on this way to see this crazy good, gorgeous mountain. Okay. And then all of a sudden there's something just like fly out in front of the car. And then she's like, oh, that's a wolf. And then I'm like, okay. And then we roll down the window and take a video of him. Yeah. And then we go to this local Tibetan and we say, hey, there's a wolf along the way. And it's like, that's impossible. We haven't seen him for 15 years.
Yeah.
And I showed him the picture. And he's like, what? And then just calling his brother saying like, hey, there's wolf. Get the yak back. Yeah. and then everybody knows that like, oh, there's a wolf in this mountain. Crazy. But they haven't seen like wild wolf in the Sichuan area for a very long time.
Well, that's so we're actually very lucky. Really scared in Yubun and some places we were going to as well, because I was asking the locals, is it possible we can tent camp in some of these places? And they're like, no, because there's a possibility there's wolves or bears. And then I'm thinking, oh, no way. I think it's super dangerous because in U.S. at least you have like pepper spray or you can have something to protect yourself. China, you have absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
That's terrifying to me. So I told him.
We only have Kung Fu.
Like jump in the air and like hit it with your
hand.
Yeah. In the States, like you hear about bear attacks all the time, especially in New Jersey.
Well, New Jersey Montana too. Crazy. Yeah, like there's.
Oh, New Jersey has lots of bears.
New Jersey has a huge bear problem.
Wow.
Yeah, Montana's the same. Montana grizzlies are terrifying. Yeah. So, I told him, I was like, no, we can't really camp out in these places. Yeah. It's pretty dangerous.
It's too wild.
Oh, that'd be a lot of fun.
It would be so much fun. It's gorgeous. Nobody's out there. Yeah. Nobody camps. Everyone lives, in the nice hotels.
Oh, and we see the best night sky ever.
Oh yeah, we did try to camp one night, and the night sky was amazing. Like
we saw this comet, or like
where was it?
It was in Sichuan.
Oh, we saw like a huge comet. Like
meteoroid.
What is it when it hits the atmosphere? Meteoroid.
Okay.
And then
just enormous,
Yeah, it's like a fireball. Someone just cast a fireball.
Really?
It looks like something you would see in anime shows or something like that. Like
that's
insane.
Power. Yeah. And then she saw it and she gets scared because she thought that this is coming at us because it's so big. It's a huge fireball actually.
And it was red.
Red, blue,
like a little whitish, and then just go across the sky like crazy. Half a sky.
You thought it was gonna hit you?
So she thought it's gonna hit.
It's huge. Your eyes can't stay open. You just start shutting because you're just like, what is it?
Yeah.
All right.
And then I saw one and she didn't see it, but it's still very big. But that was
we did try to camp
crazy
that one
cool.
night, and all of a sudden, because we're in the mountains, the weather just changes like that, and all of a sudden we saw this huge lightning storm. It was beautiful. And I told we gotta pack up and go.
Yeah, because we're the only tent in the middle of a bare mountain.
Yeah.
So just like we should go.
Yeah.
But you guys seem like you're living the life.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah. So again, what's next step?
Do we know? Next step.
Well, we're going to the U.S.
Next month.
Next month, and then we're going to go to Squamish, Canada for rock climbing. That's gonna be really fun.
Yeah.
And then in U.S. we'll visit family, but there's a lot of climbing around the world, So around U.S. too, we can go climbing. And
so we're gonna see what's the crack like around Washington area.
Keep working on vlog too. We'll go do some hikes because Washington, Canada is beautiful. Oregon's beautiful too. That Pacific Northwest area, it's gorgeous. So we'll film that too, and
hopefully being better at rock climbing, and we can just go around and climb and film.
Still working on things. Like he works on his vlogs, and I'll work on
strengthening, conditioning, reading more books. Yeah, and talk to me more about that.
I'm telling you, if you kept up with the yoga thing. And you got a good social media following, just be like, oh, I'm teaching yoga at this place.
Yeah.
Like, just do stuff like that. Yeah. Even if it's only like 5 people that sign up, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say, and you get maybe $20 or $50 from each person.
Like Hainan.
That's fine.
Yeah, Hainan people were so supportive. And they came, everybody, because I said, hey, my first 2 classes are free because I never taught a class before.
Yeah.
And everybody came. Yeah. And then they all told me, oh, that's wonderful. Like, you're really good. And I was like, oh, thank you. Like, today's my first class, and they couldn't believe it. And they were all super supportive. And
just keep doing that.
Yeah.
I really think that if you go to some place, teach some classes when you need cash, do the social media stuff, I'm sure you guys are going to be living the life you want.
Yeah, that's what we're definitely
trying to aim for,
Yeah.
And you were doing the free diving classes as well? Free diving coaching?
Maybe not freediving coaching, just like helping.
You were doing the photography
thing.
Which is also like some photography anywhere. is like valuable.
Yeah.
Right?
It
like
is.
these skills, you can go and like.
I think Will couldn't handle it any longer because the one time he went to Sanya and he didn't see the ocean
at all.
They just went to the aquarium every day.
I would say that for photographing for other people, sometimes it's more for people who didn't really expose to the nature as much.
I got you.
So they don't really care about nature. They care about themselves in the nature. So it could be like themselves covering the entire screen, and then
they'd be
like,
okay.
And there's like one fish, and they're like, "Oh, that's a beautiful picture of me."
Get out of here.
But
All right.
for me,
then,
I would like to see more like nature and then how this person is acting in nature. So that's the reason I like to film her because we love nature.
You have the same mindset.
Yeah. So when I film her, I was like, "Oh, this is cool for you," but then like I want to shoot some like shrimps, some crabs.
Well, sometimes I shoot a picture of a flower and he tells me, "What are you doing? I don't need this for the video." And then all of a sudden I see his video. There's 5 shots. I took a shot of a spider web with water on it, flowers with the water, and then I look at him. I was like, "You like my video? What are you talking?" I was like, "Be quiet. I know what I'm doing." It's the little things. Like you have to enjoy the little things, and when you film like those little things, it can really put together a video. But then. If you're just filming a person's face the whole time, I feel really uncomfortable. I'm just like, and I'm just yelling in the camera or just being like this. That's
like our relationship with like social media. It's like hate-loving kind of situation.
Oh, everyone.
It's like we don't like it because a lot of people just telling people how to pose, how to like, oh, this is a perfect place for you to take selfies. Or take photos of yourself. Or your butt. Or this route like shows your butt really good. Something like that. But then so it gives people a wrong idea. A lot of people go to this place that we think is absolutely gorgeous. We'd like to live there probably for the rest of our lives to see these mountains every day. And there's like, I totally hate this place. This is not worth my money. Not worth anything.
They complain about the trails awful. The rain was horrible. It's just. It's dumping rain, but there's still things to appreciate along the way.
It just somehow like, in a 365 days in a year, they choose this day that maybe it's a little cloudy and they can't see a perfect shot. And they just say this place is not worth it on social media. And a lot of people actually liked it. Or they're actually not fit themselves and they can't handle the stairs. And then they walked in, they're like, "Oh, this is exhausting." And then the scenery is so I don't recommend it.
When people would constantly ask you, they would ask, "Well, what camera are you using? What camera are you using?"
I'm just using my phone.
I'm just using my iPhone.
And they don't believe me. There's like definitely it's like Sony Alpha 7 or something. It's like, actually it's phone. But it just the place is so beautiful that you don't really need anything.
Your angle and your perspective. It really is, and
And we would like to see like little things along the way. It's kind of like we see this popsicles, icicles actually on the trees,
spider webs.
Spider webs
and flowers.
I don't know why I thought of this. I literally see a dropling like a poop, and I was like, "Oh, there's deer here." I don't know why I think of that. Even when we're hiking out in Montana, you do the tracking, or something like that. I was like, "Oh, there's possibly bears right here." I was like, "Okay, let's be a little careful." But it's just like these things, like like it's really wild. Like you're not alone out there. Like there is like wildlife out there. And,
And then we just walk around the entire way, and then maybe sometimes we see a little, I would say like mountain goat or something.
Yeah, we saw a mountain goat.
And then we're just like, whoa! And then we just stand there for 30 minutes. We couldn't
believe we saw a mountain goat as well.
Awesome.
I thought
it's so cute.
Yeah, it's so cute, so
it's
fluffy.
Precious. And and then we just watched them, and like most people passing us didn't know
what
we were looking
at. I thought it was a farmer's goats, and then I asked him.
I want to cuddle them.
He told me no, it's not.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah.
That's awesome. No, I get exactly what you're saying. Because the last 2 days I've been doing like a kind of stay off my phone thing. Usually I wake up and I put on like a podcast. I have headphones in all day. And the last 2 days I stopped putting in headphones. And today I got on the ferry and this guy riding a bike went over the bump onto the ferry and he's like this big fat guy. And he went, "Ah!" And I was like, and I laughed inside for like 5 minutes. And I was like, why don't I enjoy these things? Like every day I'm putting on headphones, sunglasses, I play with my phone. I don't enjoy like the actual space I'm in. But if you take all of that off and you're just look around, pay attention, the world's pretty cool.
I think learning how to be without technology is
so
important.
Yeah.
I remember
it's
when
like
I
getting
went
more and more
to
important right now.
Indonesia for a month, and there's no signal
Internet.
at all, or you don't even use your phone because you're just talking to the group.
So much better.
It was really eye-opening. It just makes you really appreciate the people that you're with and the environment you're in.
Yeah.
I think it's super important. And I remember even this girl came to Montana from New Jersey, and we were driving in Montana.
Yeah.
I was going to take her on a hike, and then she had no phone signal. She started freaking out. Oh. She couldn't believe it, and she was saying, shouldn't we go back? Like, what happens? And I was like, oh, no worries. Like, we got extra supplies in the car in case we get stranded or there's a random snowstorm. Like, I have extra tires, everything, like water. And she was freaking out. And I told her, I think this is really important for you. You need to... you need to experience this.
And be okay with this.
Yeah.
No signal's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Actually, for a lot of people from the city, the first time the signal went off could be a problem for them because they've been having it for their entire life. And they're connecting with somebody outside. They think that they're connected.
I think we were in Sichuan the one time and the power went out at the hotel.
Yeah.
We're okay with it.
We're having fun. Can't let the candles up.
We're just drinking with the locals and talking to them, asking them questions, you know. And then these other girls came in to dinner and they just start getting angry right away. They started snapping at the bosses.
Why is this place doesn't have light, electricity, or internet? How can we get out?
It's in Sichuan in the middle of the
middle
mountains.
of nowhere. Yeah.
Middle of nowhere.
Next to this crazy beautiful sno mountain.
Oh my god. The rats though. The rats in Sichuan are they don't enter the room. Okay. They can't get in.
And they run on top of you.
They run behind your bed. Oh. So you're up all night, but they can't get in. There's no way for them to get in. They just live in the, in between the rock wall and the...
In the wood, yeah.
Whatever.
The wood.
They're having fun.
That was the only thing where I struggled because I couldn't sleep. Because I wasn't
the sleep
used
is problems, yeah.
I wasn't used to all the, pattering.
Yeah. And they actually probably know where you sleep, so they only play around on top of you. So for example, if we sleep in this corner, they just run here. If we sleep that way, they just sleep they start running there.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
That was
We're
the
so
only
pissed
thing,
at these rats.
But everything else is you have to understand.
You have to just let it go.
Yeah.
Don't worry so much.
Yeah, and they need the Wi-Fi immediately because they need to post immediately what they just did.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that's not fun to me.
I think we're all too addicted to that shit.
Yeah.
It's good to just get away from it.
Yeah.
It is true. So that's reason I think we're definitely more at peace when we're in nature.
Yeah.
Because we can just literally look at this anthill for whole day.
Yeah.
And be so entertained by that. But once we're back in Shanghai, at first I can't really adjust to the idea that when I wake up and open my curtain, I can't see any nature. Yeah. I just see buildings.
Yeah.
So that gave me a little bit of a hard time.
Yeah.
And then I get more used to it because now I have coffee. I have rock climbing. I'm trying to find something nice in Shanghai that makes me cheerful, and we're working out with really great people. I start to enjoy Shanghai life a little bit more, but I would definitely more
outdoorsy.
Outdoorsy. Prefer more back to the mountains.
I liked in the U.S. having my yard. Wake up every morning, pick strawberries.
Yeah.
Go find frogs in the morning. Go find salamanders. So I would find we had the little cute tree frogs in Washington.
Yeah.
They're all different patterns and colors.
Okay.
And the salamanders, we'd go find them and.
I mean, frogs. I think at this they're okay. Yeah. When they get to
when they
this,
get, this
I'm
big,
eh.
Yeah, that's okay.
Then it's yummy. Now this is cute. This is edible.
Yeah, the tree frogs are so cute.
That's
tree frogs so cute. Yeah. It is. I love frogs, man.
Just tell everyone where you are posting these videos. I hope everyone goes and 关注. All right.
Okay, so I have this page in Little Red Book called 娜娜和威廉.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we mostly posting our travel videos, and maybe in the future we're gonna put more outdoor elements in there.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna put more outdoor elements in there. But sometimes when we're too involved in climbing and stuff, we just no camera. We just want to enjoy this route. And then after this, we should have recorded. It's such a cool scenery.
I think our vlog is a lot of hiking or even
actually
surfing,
most of the times it's hiking because we get bored of I don't mean to say it, but like, we get bored of like human civilization creation very easily. Like for example, we go to Vietnam and we visited like 6 church in 1 morning. We just like go say, oh cool, and then go down and say cool, and that's it.
If the audience like wants to like go on some hikes or go on some like really beautiful hikes, like
or outdoorsy parts,
more outdoorsy parts, and it's also really good photos. It is good photos.
Some of it very good photos.
Then you can like really like follow our page. Then you would enjoy it.
That's it. Everyone go. I will put all of Will's stuff in the description and go and Guanju. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Oh, that was great.